Welcome to California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined today by Mike Morrell. He is a member of the California State Senate. We are coming to you from Sacramento, by the way. The Capitol's right across the street. So I want to speak with you about gas prices.
Yeah.
It feels as if when you drive around California, the gas prices are dropping. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember seeing a 4 as the first number, and now I see a 2. But simultaneously, there seems to be a lot of chatter about the gas taxes going up. And it's even confusing for many of us to figure out what's going on with gas prices and gas taxes. Could you enlighten us?
Well, with this CARB initiation, the carbon tax, what that essentially means is per gallon, citizens are going to pay a lot more for our gas.
Right.
We already now have one of the highest gasoline taxes in America, but that's expected to go up perhaps as high as 76 cents.
Right.
So let me just give you 2 examples.
Please.
Though gas is going down, my wife and I just went to Arizona, and right when we crossed over the borderline, it was about 48 cents cheaper in Arizona than it is over here.
Well, we know our blends are more expensive.
Blends are more expensive, But even a month ago, we were 32 cents higher than other states on our gasoline. But though gas has gone down because of the gas tax taking effect, the hidden gas tax recently, now in 1 month we've jumped. We're 47 cents higher than all the other states, or the average of the states.
Sure.
And so it is starting to have an effect. But the thing that I'm really concerned about is not only is it a hidden gas fee, but also there's some hidden costs. Like, 78% of our products in America are trucked in on 18-wheelers. And so they're going to have to, pass that cost along in groceries, furniture, automobiles, everything. And there's think tanks out there. One suggested it could cost families, aside from the gas tax, maybe about an extra $2,500 per family. And so,
but as I understand it, there is at some level bipartisan support to reevaluate this specific issue.
It's bipartisan support. My support is to eliminate it altogether.
Right.
But the thing is, sometimes you have to take things in steps, and so that's what we're doing. But again, the people who regulate this, consider this: it's an unelected body.
The California Air Resources Board.
Who are, again, they're unelected, and they determine the fate on what things are going to cost us. And again, when I think about our nation's first principles, about the U.S. Constitution, about limiting government's power, and that government's there to serve us, not to be our masters, but to be our servants, and not to ride over us like they're doing, this is just, it reeks.
But what would you say, though, if you consider that the reason why CARB has the power to do this is AB 32 was passed and signed in 2006. The voters had a chance to repeal it a few years ago. They didn't.
They didn't.
And so, we're kind of at this situation where you have a governor who's very supportive of the cap and trade system, which gasoline is now a part. So, so you're between a rock and a hard place on this.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. I don't think things were clearly communicated in a transparent way to the voters. And let me explain, just to kind of show you. We have a new bill that just the voters passed, Proposition 30.
Right.
And our friends across the aisle, our governor said this is to help schools, to benefit schools. And so the big print gaveth, but the little print sort of tooketh away. And what the little print, that our governor didn't come out and give full disclosure to the citizens who voted on this bill, but about 60% of that money so far, as near as I can tell, is not going towards our students and tuition. In fact, it's going things to backfill pensions, even partly, I understand, towards high-speed rail. But the voters in good faith want that money to go to the students. And the governor promised, and we're supposed to be people who keep our words, that there would be no tuition increases for 7 years, but yet now the College Board of Regents is raising the tuition.
But the governor is flaming mad about the vote of the UC Regents.
Well, but is he, or is that his cover, knowing that he could lay off of that vote?
Mean, he proposed a budget a few weeks ago, and in that budget, there was a bump for UC, but he said, I'll take that bump away if you, UC Regents, increase tuition.
Well, I hope he sticks to that. If he does, then I will definitely say thank you to him.
But let me ask you about Prop 30, because this is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Governor Brown, a huge proponent of Prop 30, as you know. He basically dedicated his entire election cycle on Prop 30. He said that Prop 30's taxes were meant to be temporary. They're supposed to expire in 2016. And at this stage, he is not supporting an extension. Members of his party in the legislature are, but he's not.
And most taxes that start, they usually don't. They're very difficult to take away.
Right.
So I'm very skeptical of that because you don't. And again, I think there should have been more full disclosure.
But are you, at least at this stage, thankful that the governor has said, I will not support an extension of Prop 30 taxes?
I have to say, yes, I am.
Do you think that the governor will be able to withstand the pressure from various allies on this question? Because we know his friends in the legislature on the Democratic side, many, not all, are itching for them to be extended. I'm sure his allies in other advocacy groups as well.
Well, he's been there a lot of years. He's learned to take the hits, and so he'll withstand it. But again, I support his words. But getting back to one thing,
please.
I'm real careful about this. The governor made a promise, and so we do have to be held. I'm held accountable for my words.
Yes, you are.
He made a promise, and he knew he had to know the Board of Regents could turn around and perhaps raise that. And so he should have never made that promise. And so in good faith, that's one thing I think he should be held accountable to.
And that brings up a very good point. That the Board of Regents has the power to raise tuition.
Yes.
There are members of the legislature.
Which he knew.
Right. No, I hear you.
But so you can't make a promise and,
but let's
have
take
it be empty.
To the next level.
Okay.
The next level is, should the Board of Regents have that power? Aside from the fact that he may have known that they had it, there are members of the legislature that are so angry about the proposal to increase tuition that they are trying to rein in the authority of the UC. Would you entertain a reining in of the power of that Board of Regents so they can't unilaterally raise tuition? That it should be more collaborative, maybe with the governor's assent?
Yes, I'd like to rein him in, and also maybe you price it to the CPI, to an index or something like that, because people need to be paid. But the other side of the coin is, look at, I've just, the short time I've been in politics, you have these barons of bureaucracy up here in Sacramento. You have so much in administrative costs. You have approximately in K through 12, $12,000 it starts up here. But by the time it makes its way through that bureaucratic pipeline and it ends up in classrooms in my districts, it's around $5,000.
Although, is it better now that there's some devolution with the local control funding formula?
Well, that's brand new, and we're hoping it is, because again, getting back to some of our nation's first crowning, our first nation's first principles, it should be local control, local decisions. It's our tax money. We send it in Sacramento, then they send back how much we think we should, or how much they think we should keep. That should be local decisions. And when you look at education today versus back in the 60s, today we rank 17th internationally. And back in the 60s, we were number one. And the many distinctions and reason why, but I think the main one is in the 60s, it was primarily local control. And as you look over the years, as the federal government and the state governments have taken away control from the parents and the classrooms, our educational standards have gone down.
But presumably the local control funding formula should change that. I mean, a lot of the categoricals.
Well, we're into it for
So
what
are you hearing? I mean, you represent almost 1 million people. What are you hearing? Are you hearing that they like that they've had more say? There's that local control accountability plan, which allows stakeholders to express their views.
They're cautiously optimistic about it.
Okay, that's fair.
But again, remember, this has to be tested over time. And at the end of the day, how much additional money is going to come back into the local municipalities so the parents and the teachers and the Board of Education can control that money, as well as the education standards.
His name is Mike Morrell, member of the California State Senate. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's California Edition.